Hello everyone, I am Glenn and welcome to the Glenliness. I am sitting in the Wawa parking lot early Friday morning. I got myself a 20-ounce coffee today because just headache, tired, usual. That's good stuff. That'll get me going. Welcome to the Glenliness weekly vlog. So last weekend, as you know, we went up, saw family. 3-day weekend, was all over the place. Lots of excitement, so pretty much taking it easy this weekend. We had originally planned to take the kid out to Dutch Wonderland, local kids amusement park. But it's supposed to really rain tomorrow and Sunday, so we canceled that trip. And now I'm just waiting for the rain to come today. I don't really have too much planned for today. I feel like I just kind of want to drive around a little bit, so I'm gonna do that. I've got my Sizzly, I've got my Wawa coffee, so I am good to go. I'm noticing lately, it's just kind of interesting. I'm going back and I'm viewing these videos as I'm, I put them together and I go through and I look at them. I actually usually sit with my wife because she hasn't seen them, so I'll sit and watch them with her. And it's interesting because I'm noticing, like, oh, well, let me zoom in a little bit. I'm noticing, like, me is not coming through. Who I am is not coming through to you. And I mean, some of you know me, and it's like, probably at this point, anybody who's watching this already knows me. And I think the me that I'm projecting is the me that these people know, but it's not the real me yet. And I think part of my goal here is to have that actual me come out. You know, yeah, I have a goal of just kind of bettering myself and, you know, learning to live life and not live life through my things, but through my experiences and that sort of thing. But I mean, you know, who doesn't have that goal? So what I want to do in addition to that is be more comfortable with being who I am and letting that project out there. And I mean, some of that's coming through, like my more intellectual side, but that's the side that I always like to present. I don't like to present my goofier side, my sillier side, my funnier side, and I don't know why, because I'm freaking hilarious. But I don't project that. I don't let that come through. And I'm hoping I can learn to do that. And I'm hoping talking to you is gonna help me do that. But I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do that is, to become more comfortable with myself, to become more comfortable with who I am, with my sense of humor, with all of that kind of stuff, and just be a little more relaxed and easygoing and that sort of thing. But anyway, meantime, I am gonna do a little driving. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna go, and I got my little breakfast sandwich. I got my big old coffee. Gotta shoot this headache out. I might do some brewing later today, and I'll bring you along on that journey because I haven't done that in months. So in addition to everything else, I'm an amateur home brewer. Well, I guess there's no professional home brewers. But I do that, so that might be an interesting thing to take you along on, and yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Meantime, I better shut this off and pay attention to where I'm driving because I have no idea where I'm going, and I'm gonna just end up like in another state or something if I'm not careful. So, ciao for now. Maybe I'll bring you along on some of the drive. I've noticed over the years that I tend to get the wanderlust, where I just want to just kind of drive. It's nice to be able to have the time to do that occasionally. So I just kind of took the turnpike out west, and I'm just kind of randomly going. Something happened here. Can't quite tell what's going on. Flashing lights. accident. I don't know if you can see that at all. Somebody ran off the road and into a telephone pole. And I better pay attention so I don't run off the road now. So yeah, I took the turnpike out a little bit west. I'm heading south now. Swing back around to the east, head home. Just a little loop. Just something to get my yayas out, as they say. Who says that? Does anybody say that? Nobody says that. What the heck is a yaya? Whatever, I'm driving. Generally, I tend to prefer these back roads to the highways. I mean, I took the turnpike to get out here, and that was functional. But I prefer this kind of road. I prefer it even more if there's less traffic, but what are you going to do? This is what I like. Open air, farms. I don't know that I'd be happy like living out here in the middle of nowhere, but I love driving through it. Seriously, I'm like focused out on the road here, but you should, the surroundings are the good part. It's just farmland. This looks like it could be any other road from the camera's point of view. Hardly anything here, but a couple houses, some horsies. Hello, horses. And sheep. Other things like that. Alright, now we're getting into a wooded area. So, not as open. More farm. And more farm. Pay a little bit more attention to where I'm going because there is just a little bit of traffic on the roads. People going to work, I guess. It is about that time. Alright, I'm gonna sit back, enjoy the drive. Chiropractor here, wood siding, and just the way that building is arranged, it looks like some kind of old West building that's just been repurposed. Like the chiropractor sign looks out of place on it. The facade looks like some kind of old West building to me. All right, heading back east. Gonna shut you down. I'll pick back up at home. I think I'll do the home brew today. Walk you through that. Catch you in a bit. Welcome to the Tipsy Kitty Brewery, aka my basement. I've been doing home brewing for a number of years. That's my Tipsy Kitty logo. My wife used to claim that I did it just to make the beer labels, and I didn't really care about the beer. Not quite true. I do enjoy making the labels. At least I did enjoy making the labels. Now I have a miniature keg that I put everything in. I brew very small batches. Your average homebrew batches are around 5 gallons. I am about 2.5. I am doing very simple brews lately, mainly because I don't have time for the more complicated ones. So this is going to be a mostly extract brew, although I do have some grain here that I'm going to add in for flavor. All right, let's get started. I'm not sure exactly where to put you because this isn't going to be very interesting. That's the small pot that I'm using, and I don't want to bore you. So I don't know. I could do like some sort of cooking show thing where I'm doing that, but then how do I get the camera to magically stay like that? I don't know that I can. So maybe I'll just speed this up and I'll do a little montage of me dumping the stuff in here and then try to give you a better view. How does that sound? Good? Good. All right, let's go. So I'm brewing an IPA today. It's a hopped malt extract, so the hops are already in there. I'm going to be adding a little bit of a booster, which is additional malt extract. The malt extract is what contains the sugars, and that's what the yeast ferments and turns into beer. I'm also going to add a bit of oatmeal and some of that grain for flavoring. Might make it a little creamier consistency. This grain, this giant bag of grain was originally bought for another brew that I was going to make that was going to be an all grain. And I've simply run out of time. I just don't have the time to do this anymore. So I don't want this to go to waste. So I'm at least going to use some of it for flavoring, even though it's a little past its prime. So we got the oatmeal in here. We're going to add the grain. And no, I'm not even weighing this out. Definitely something you would normally do. But I'm just throwing caution to the wind and throwing some in here. That's about half and half. All right. So this is ready to go. And this I'm going to try to reseal. I had it vacuum sealed, but I guess because the grain itself is kind of pointy, it broke through the seal. Oops. Falling over here off camera. It broke through the seal, and yeah, it broke through the seal. There's really not much more to say, is there? So now I'm just waiting for this to boil, which will take a while. We're up to 86 degrees. It's not the quickest burner ever, but this way I restrict the smells mostly to the basement. I actually have better equipment available to me, but I don't usually use it. I have the full burner and the actual big old kettle here, but I just don't have the time to do it. I've done that a few times outside. I could do up to a full five gallon batch, but I generally stick to the 2 to 3 gallons, and I've just mostly been doing extract brews, which does indeed make it a lot easier, but doesn't allow as much room for creativity. I've had these two beers in the queue for a while. It's the IPA, which I'm adding a little flourish to, and I also have a porter ready to go, which is going to be a chocolate, what was I going to do? Chocolate molasses porter, I think, because I have molasses sitting, and porter extract and some cacao nibs. So that one should be good, but this one, the extracts expire before, so I like to throw the extracts cans and stuff into some hot water so that they pour a little easier. So I'm gonna get that going. What the heck is in here? This is just not clean. We used to spend a lot more time in the basement before the kid came around, but now it just doesn't seem like we're down here very much anymore. I mean, we've got some toys and a tent down here, but we just don't seem to spend much time. All right, let's check on the water. 108, it's getting there. For those unfamiliar, this spray is a sanitizer called Star San. It's a very common home brewing sanitizer, probably the most common one. I put a powder sanitizer, dissolve that into the glass brewing canister, and that's not the right word. Carboy, that's the word. Carboy. Yeah, I don't really like the glass. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I thought it would stay cleaner than a plastic fermenter would, but the biggest problem is that it has a really small opening on it. So then I have to use the funnel to get things in there. Kind of a pain. But yeah, I find that powdered sanitizer tends to do a better job with something like this. Just gotta make sure it stays coated. Alright. Hot water's filling up to about 124 degrees, so we're getting there. Once that boils, I'll bring it down a little bit and I'll add this in, and maybe, I guess for now we can go for another montage. Maybe I'll flip the camera around, try to get you a better view. A large portion of brewing is waiting. Can I just say, apropos of nothing, I love combos. It's one of my favorite snacks. I don't buy them that often, but I was happy to find these little snack size bags, because if I get the normal size bags, I can end up eating the entire bag. This at least limits me. Unfortunately, it's a tiny, tiny bag. So it doesn't feel like I'm getting much. All right, extract pouch has been added. One of the easiest things, one of the best things rather, about extract brewing, in addition to it just being easier and quicker, it's kind of hard to screw it up. Already gone. Like nothing in there. Based on the smell of this, it's not going to be all that hoppy. This is a hopped malt extract. I don't have any other hops to add to it. Usually I'll have some hops on hand and go a bit further, but not this time. It is what it is. Alright, that is looking like a very dark IPA. It needs a little bit more water. I'm up to like about the 1 3/4 gallon mark, and I want to get it up to about 2.5. Unfortunately, I did not buy enough spring water. I thought I had a full jug of this at home, so I only bought one more. But technically, you can brew beer with tap water. It doesn't really matter necessarily. It might affect the flavor profile a bit, but that's about it. So I will just get some filtered water and add that in, top it off, wait for it to cool, add the yeast, and then in a couple of weeks, beer. Yay. So that's that. Ciao. So we are all in the carboy. Yeast has been added. I've decided to call this brew Ollie's Beard. Ollie is my son. Usually when he wants to say beer, he says beard. I don't really know why. Sounds the same. Sort of. Alright, let's take you upstairs. So, a little bit ago I was going through some of my older videos just to see which ones were a little more getting more views. Not that any of them are getting all that many views. But a few of them are getting more than others, and I was kind of curious as to which ones they were, and surprisingly, they're the ones where I'm sitting and talking to the camera mostly, so I don't know, maybe I should be doing more talking to the camera. That seems to be what people want to see. I don't know. I don't know that anybody wants to see any of this, quite frankly, but as I've said many times, I'm not really doing it for anybody but me. So, hi me. I haven't really gone back and watched a lot of them. I mean, I watched them with my wife, as I said, when they come out, just because she hasn't seen them, and I'm curious to see what my final edits look like. Yeah, so I would have expected that something like when I went up to Ringing Rock would have gotten more views, but it doesn't seem to have. I still want to do more like adventurous things, more travel videos, and I do have some that are in the works that should be coming soon. Hopefully at least one of them this month, and then maybe another next month. And then the month after that, I'm going to be out in California, and I'll take you along with me there. I still plan to do these weekly vlogs. Regardless, those are going to be separate from the travel videos. Ringing Rocks probably could have been one of those, but I chose to just make it a vlog because I didn't really have enough time to get that much information on it and do much research and get more details. So that was more about just kind of going out there and checking it out. The other stuff, I'm going to do some more research and yeah, try to get something a little more informative, maybe a little more interesting, and we'll see where it goes from there. Meantime, that's probably all I'm going to have this week, but it seems like whenever I say I don't have more, then I do have more. Whenever I say I will have more, then I don't have more, so who knows what's going to happen. But meantime, Luna and I wish you all a good week. I appreciate your watching. If you think about it, give me a thumbs up. If you're a cat, you don't have thumbs, so that's okay. But if you're a human, you've got them. Actually, even if you're a cat, you can just take your little paw and click on the thumbs up. Right? I don't know. Can you operate a mouse if you're a cat? Luna, can you operate a mouse? Or can you only kill them? The mystery remains. See you next week. Boop.